23 years in the making, but will it live up to the original? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. So, the original Chicken Run came out in 2000, 24 years ago. 23 technically before this movie came out at the end of last year. But this movie had been kind of in the works since the original came out. Apparently, they had been wanting to make this, but due to various reasons here and there, it just never kind of worked out. And there was like a fire, a warehouse fire in like 2005, and like a lot of the original stuff was, destroyed. So they had to remake a lot of this from scratch. And just this movie kind of existing at this point is kind of a big deal because it almost seemed like we would never get a sequel to the original. And mind you, I don't think the original really needed a sequel, but the fact that we're still getting one again after all this time, after everything that had happened, is still pretty cool. Now, one thing to note, one thing I do know about this is that pretty much everyone has been recast. I think the only character who is still voiced by the same actor is Mrs. Tweedy, if I'm correct. I'm not even 100% sure, but I believe I heard that. But like Rocky, for example, is no longer voiced by Mel Gibson, which may be a good thing. Instead, I guess he's voiced by Zachary Levi, which, depending on how you view things currently, may not be a good thing. But yeah, they got different actors for Rocky and Ginger and everything. Apparently Bella Ramsey is in this from what I heard as well, so that's fun. Um, I don't know who they play, but they're in this. I don't know who else is in this off the top of my head. Like, I don't know who Ginger's new voice is. As long as it's good, though, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen the original. So I'm probably not even going to notice that much, if I'm being completely honest. Because, God, I don't think I've seen the original since I was in school. Like I'm talking like high school at the latest, but I was still like, a kid, basically, the last time I saw this movie. And that's wild to think about. Saw the original movie. It's wild to think about that now, all this time later, there is a sequel. So I'm excited because I did like the first movie. I believe this is the same studio as Wallace and Gromit, so the same art style. Well, art style, you could say the same model style with the stop motion and everything. I'm very interested to see what they do in regards to that. Because stop motion has definitely like improved a lot over the years. I'm hoping that that kind of shows in this film. Um, I also don't know where the plot is going to lead us. Like, I obviously it takes place after the events of the first movie, but like, what more is there going to be to that? How much further in the future is it? Is it actually going to be like 23 years later? Some movies have been doing that. Some movies have been actually going that far into the future since the first one. Good Burger 2 did that, for example. But I don't know, because I don't know what the actual plot of this is. I haven't seen any trailers to this either. I think I might have seen like the first teaser, but that's about it. The title Dawn of the Nugget obviously refers to chicken nuggets. So I assume that's probably going to be the Mrs. Tweedy's plan, like trying to turn them into marketable nuggets or something. um, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a bit of a nostalgia trip for me because this movie is something I watched growing up. I mean, it came out when I was only 8 years old, so that's literally a childhood movie for me. And it was never like my favorite movie. Like I was always into stuff like Space Jam more. I was really into Space Jam growing up, like maybe a little uncomfortably so. But yeah, it's just one of those movies that I do have a soft spot for. And so I'm hoping that this captures that same kind of magic, at least to some degree. It doesn't have to be the best movie ever, but I want to be charmed, you know? And I mean, if nothing else, you know I'm going to love the stop motion because I love stop motion. Like, I make no secret of how much I love stop motion as an art form. I will rave about that forever if you give me the chance, but I'm not going to because I want to keep my thoughts on things concise and not ramble for 30-40 minutes on just that. Um, but we'll see how this goes and hope for the best. Also, by the way, this is a reward for Venom. I almost forgot to mention that. And it is our last movie of our New Year's movie week. You are seeing this on Sunday. I'm recording it on Friday, but you are seeing this on Sunday, so this is the last movie of our movie week. And I think this is a good one to end off on. I think this is a good one to close out with. Just a big nostalgia trip for the beginning of the year, and we'll kind of go from there. So, that all being said, let's just get into this and hope for the best. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the movie. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, 23 years after the original came out, this again had been like they've wanted to do this since the first came out. They wanted to do the sequel. I don't know like how many rewrites and plans the story went through, but there was always plans for a sequel. And over 2 decades later, they finally did it. And I feel like this movie is proof of the idea that you should never give up on that. You should never give up on the possibility of following, in a way, your dreams and working to make things happen, even if it takes a long time to get there. And this goes for any situation, not just a movie or a series or media like this. But it goes for any situation, no matter what kind of situation you find yourself in. Never give up on the possibility of more. If you want something more out of your life, even if it takes a while to get there, go for it. And in a way, that's almost kind of the message of the movie, too. To never give up in the face of adversity. Even if it seems like everything is against you, go for it. Obviously, situationally very different. But still. Now, obviously, I said it in the pre-thoughts, obviously have to say it here. This stop motion was phenomenal. It's like, I knew that was going to be the case. It's like, I don't think I've seen stop motion that is bad. I don't really think it exists. Because the amount of work and care and just talent that goes into stop motion is brilliant. It's so amazing what these animators are able to do. And so like without question, that was always going to be the case here. In a lot of ways, it does look better than the original because of more modern technology and whatnot. Because the entire landscape with stop motion has improved since 2000, it's markedly improved in terms of quality. Um, as for every other aspect, such as writing, character work, voice acting, I think it's all honestly kind of improved as well. We have just so much that you work off of from the original. And even though it seems like pretty much everyone was recast outside of Mrs. Tweedy, everything worked. All the voice actors did a great job. They felt like their characters. No one felt off or out of place. You have the story feeling like a natural progression from the first film, while also giving us some fun twists and turns. The new characters are all pretty damn great. And you even have like just fun music and ideas shared throughout. It's pretty much in all ways a great film. And I'm not entirely surprised, but I'm glad. Because going into this, I was hoping, because of the fact that I did like the original, that I would come into this and end up really liking this as well. But I did have maybe a little trepidation that they wouldn't be able to capture that same magic in quite the same way. Because it has been over 2 decades. Like, it's been the majority of my life since the first one came out. Remember, like I said, um, in 2000, like I was born in 92, I was 8 years old. So I am 32 now. Think about how big of a change that is. That's massive. And the fact that they kept fighting for this to happen for all this time, that they never gave up on this sequel and they made it this genuinely good with just fantastic writing and dialogue, the same kind of witty, fun humor that the original had, great characters. It's like it works so well. And it's like even the new characters you get, like Molly and Frizzle, you just like them. You care about them. They are instantly super likable. And I love that this movie, like, showcases just how much they fit into this world and how much they just feel like a natural part of this, well, now duo of movies. So it all feels just right. And it's really cool because um, this being released now, over 20 years later, it's like people who grew up with this, a lot of people are going to have kids now and they're going to get to introduce them to Chicken Run. And now it's sequel. The only thing I kind of wish that this had done is get a theatrical release instead of just a streaming release on Netflix. That's the only real big, like, mistake I feel that happened here. Because I feel like this very well could have deserved and really should have gotten a theatrical release. Um, it just feels like it deserved it, especially after how long and how much work was put into making this happen. Like I mentioned in the pre-thoughts, apparently a warehouse fire caused most of the like models and assets and stuff to be destroyed from the first film. And I believe what I saw is they basically had to remake all of that from scratch based on like art books or whatever. Um, so the fact that they were able to do that is amazing. it's so good to see this come to fruition. And again, to see it be this good is great. Now, do I think it's the best movie ever? No, of course not. Like, but I feel like that's not through any fault of its own, though. That's just it's just not like the best movie ever for me. Someone else might find this to be even better than I do. Someone else might not like it as much. It's just it's a personal preference. While I may not personally find it to be the best movie ever, I still enjoyed the hell out of it. It was an absolute blast, and I think like even the new casting was great. The old characters being recast, it's like while that does very much suck to not hear the classic voices, the fact that we still get like good voice actors coming in, no matter what you might think of them as people. Again, Zachary Levi, not the most beloved actor at the moment, but still talented and still shows that in this. And Bella Ramsey, oh, great choice for Molly. They were just so perfectly cast there. Um, because Molly very much feels a lot like Hilda as a character. So just the fact that they were cast as her just really helps sell that, because it's just like they've played this kind of character before and very much you could tell know how to play it. So that's great. I love that. Yeah, I think this was just a really, really strong sequel. And although there's some things I question, like the fact of Mrs. Tweedy somehow surviving being turned into a nugget, you know, family movie, animated family movie, like killing off a human character, kind of hard to do that in a movie like this. Um, though logically speaking, it makes no sense. But the kids will laugh at it, so hey. But all that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts. So tell me in the comments below, what did you think of Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget? Did you enjoy it as much as I did, or even more? Or did you find some more little issues here and there with it? Or did you just not enjoy it that much? I mean, that's perfectly valid. It's all subjective. Tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.